guys. This is Jack, and today we are going to be talking about the Oscar predictions before the fall festival season starts. Actually, in about a week, as Venice is about to start. It already actually did start with Beetlejuice, but we're going to see a bunch of films from the fall slate that are probably going to be contenders for the Oscars. So let's really dive into my picks for the Oscars. Also, I do want to say that I am currently using the Awards Expert app, which is from the Oscar experts, instead of Gold Derby, because I think this will be really interesting to kind of play around with the new app. And I think it's a better community driven app in general, especially coming from Letterboxd. So yeah, let's just get into it. So starting with supporting actor, I have a few choices according to the Awards Expert app. I do have Clarence Macklin for Sing Sing, and Samuel Jackson for The Piano Lesson, Stanley Tucci for Conclave, Denzel Washington for Gladiator 2, and Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain. So just going off of these first 5 people that I have here, Clarence Macklin is only the visible supporting actor right now, since Sing Sing is already out in theaters, if you can catch it, because it's only in 900 theaters. But from what I saw, Clarence Macklin's performance in Sing Sing is really, really fantastic, and he shows a lot of depths between his character that he's playing, and it's actually based on a real person, which is himself. Which will be a really good narrative if he wins Best Supporting Actor or even gets nominated. And the same thing can actually apply to Samuel Jackson, who has only been nominated for one acting award for Pulp Fiction decades ago, and this is going to be his kind of comeback narrative situation, and I can definitely see Samuel Jackson winning this all the way. But I'm also putting him at number 2 just for safekeeping, especially since I'm going to go see The Piano Lesson at Toronto Film Festival. So I'm really excited to see his performance. And Stanley Tucci also as well for Conclave, which I actually finished the book not too long ago. And his character it's a little bit subdued, and there's a few one-liners and monologues that his character has, but he's the standout in Conclave, along with John Lithgow's character in Conclave, who's also in my bottom 5, but it can be interchangeable between Stanley Tucci and John Lithgow. And then I have Denzel Washington for Gladiator 2. The reason being is because one, Gladiator won Best Picture not too long ago in the 2000s, and here Denzel, he's been trying to do lesser work in the acting field, and he just announced that he has a few more movies left in him before he retires. So this would be a really nice nomination, and even a win if Gladiator 2 is actually really good. And then at number 5, I have Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, and this is another one that I actually saw before anyone else back in January at Sundance, and his performance in A Real Pain is fantastic, and it's all fires on cylinders. He's playing a character who is very grumpy, but also very energetic, and just a lot of stuff is happening in the movie that I can't really explain without spoiling it. But his character is really 3-dimensional, and I would be really happy to see Kieran Culkin take this nomination, especially since he's been off of Succession last year, which he sweeped. So yeah, I have that. And then my bottom 5, Edward Norton, a complete unknown. That's the Bob Dylan movie. And again, I think Edward Norton, he has a potential to sneak in, mainly because he hasn't been nominated for quite a while. I think the last time was Birdman, and he's well respected, and I would be really happy to be with him with his nomination if it happens. And then Drew Starkley, Queer. We just saw a little image of Queer. There's another image that's out right now, and I'll talk a little bit deeper about Queer, but it's a kind of possibility situation because he's up and coming. And usually up-and-coming actors don't really get too much of a shine, especially in supporting acting. It's hit and miss, but I would be very happy to see if Drew Starkley does his thing. And then Jeremy Strong, The Apprentice. That's a big if, and that's probably because The Apprentice is in limbo with the U.S. release date. So I don't know when it's going to come out here, but I think it got dated to October in the UK. So maybe it'll come out this year, maybe it won't, but I hope so. And then I have Mark Edelstenson. I can't really pronounce his last name, but he's from Menorah, and he plays the Russian guy who gets married with the main lead. And I've heard great things about his performance. It's kind of like Timothée Chalamet in Call Me by Your Name. So I could see it happening if it's riding along with Mikey Madison for Anora and just like going across the board with Anora in general. But that's basically my little analysis for supporting actor. Let's move on to the next category, supporting actress. So next up, I have Danielle Deadwyler for The Piano Lesson in supporting actress, Anjanae Ellis Taylor for Nickel Boys, Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez, Isabella Rossellini, Conclave, Tilda Swinton, The Room Next Door. So let's start from the beginning. Danielle Deadwyler, The Piano Lesson. I'm really excited, and it's another play type film dealing with a black family and their piano. And I saw the trailer not too long ago, and I think Danielle Deadwyler has it in the bag, especially since she missed the Oscar nomination for Till a couple years ago due to the To Leslie controversy, which I won't go super deep into it. But if you remember, that was a crazy wrench in the bag. And then Anjanae Ellis Taylor for the Nickel Boys. Now, I actually read the book not too long ago, and it's going to take most of the story that it is in the book, make it kind of like fictionalized, but also play again with race and how schools are run, especially in the private sense. And Anjanae Ellis Taylor's character in the Nickel Boys is kind of like small, just a little bit, but they have the potential to kind of like expand her character, make her character grow, be kind of like the supporting actress of the film. And then Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez. This is a musical that is about a trans woman and her ways of living in, I think, Mexico. And it's also dealing with the cartel. And Zoe Saldana is like, I think, the lawyer of the trans lead in this movie. And I've heard great things about it. Emilia Perez premiered at Cannes with pretty positive reaction. It's been kind of long since Cannes, but again, I think Emilia Perez is going to be safe, especially Zoe Saldana. And then Isabella Rossellini for Conclave is another one that I actually read the book, and her character is small, just like Anjanae Taylor's character in Nickel Boys, but she gets a lot of monologues, especially towards the end of the book. And again, Isabella Rossellini, she's one of those actresses that just shows up in a lot of things, and she's well respected in Italy and just other productions. And this is another like long overdue nomination that could happen. And then Tilda Swinton, The Room Next Door. This is from Pedro Almodovar, his first English debut, and Tilda Swinton is playing one of the wives of Julianne Moore, the wife of Julianne Moore, I should say, actually. But yeah, like, I can see it. I can just visualize it. And like, Pedro is just a master at camp and just very overdramatic drama. But I really want to see it. I love Pedro. And then just the bottom five, Natasha Lyonne, His $3. This movie premiered last year at a Toronto Film Festival, and now it's coming this year, and it's another situation where Netflix is kind of like juggling, trying to like figure out either if Emilia Perez is just like the full-on like main course, or is His $3 just only going to be like the acting leads. And I think that's probably what's going to happen. But Natasha Lyonne, I've heard her character and her performance in this movie is really great, and I saw the trailer and it looks pretty cool. And then we have Selena Gomez for Emilia Perez. This is just only for like the Gomez fans, the Selena fans, the Seleners. I actually heard her performance is really good in Emilia Perez. I've only seen a couple of things from her. She's been like hit and miss for me, but you know, it could happen. Julianne Moore in The Room Next Door, sharing with Tilda Swinton, it's a whole thing where I think either one of them is lead or supporting, or they're just writing like coexisting together with leading or supporting. So I don't really have any comments about that, but I do have a comment about Joan Chen for which is unfortunately just gonna die. And that's probably because it came out in June, and I saw it back in January at Sundance, and I loved it, and I thought it was really fantastic, and I thought Joan Chen would net like the nomination, but it seems unlikely now, so I guess it's over for Didi. Rest in peace, my brother. Now here we get to the meat of everything. Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, Best Actor. I'm just gonna start it right there. It's the only viable pick that I have right now because, again, I'm the only one who saw it, and it's a really fantastic performance, and this is like riding the coattails of his last nomination for Rustin, and man, like Coleman Domingo in Sing Sing, like if you haven't like watched my review for Sing Sing, I think you should check it out. I went a little bit deeper into his performance, and I thought he was really great. And then the next in line I have is Ralph Fiennes for Conclave. This is only due to the fact that his narrative is also long overdue. He's been in the industry for quite a while, and he should have been nominated for a Grand Budapest Hotel and A Bigger Splash. And reading the book Conclave, you can see and like kind of like hear all of the stuff that he's going through in the book. He has a lot of shouty dialogue and then very like somber moments in the book. And it seems to be like the same thing when I saw the trailer for the movie. So yeah, I really want to know if Ralph Fiennes is really the one. And then we have Daniel Craig, Queer. I say this because the Venice boss, the person who is in charge of the Venice Film Festival, said multiple times that Daniel Craig's performance in Queer is easily one of his best performances that he's ever given. He's brave, he's bold, all the like 10 yards, and like I'm stupendously excited for Queer. I am a big fan of Luca Guadagnino as a director, and to get like a double dip of his films from like Challengers to like Queer it's just going to be like a fucking blast. And then up next I have Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Bob Dylan biopic. It's kind of like a ride or die situation. I could see multiple kind of scenarios with this film, and one of them is just nominating Timothée Chalamet and just calling it a day, or just going overboard with it, especially since the director, James Mangold, directed Walk the Line a couple years ago, and he can just be like that Todd Phillips situation where they just over-nominate it, and he just rides along with it. And then finally, this one is really interesting because it's now getting momentum, and it's probably because of like the plot synopsis, just the overall general vibe of the film. The Brutalist, starring Adrian Brody. Brady Corbett directed one of my favorite movies of I think it was like 2018, Fox Lux, and it's been a while since he's directed a movie. This one's been like in the running for quite a while. And The Brutalist, the film itself is 3.5 hours long, and Adrian Brody is just completely in the movie. I'm going to go a little bit deeper into The Brutalist when I get to Best Picture, but if Adrian Brody just like comes back like with this performance, like I'll be fucking happy. Like the guy has only been in like Wes Anderson productions and just like small like generic movies here and there, but like I want him to like come back. Like that guy is just, he's a great actor. And then just bottom five, John David Washington, The Piano Lesson. I heard his performance in the play is really, really good, and I just want to see him win because a lot of people are like skeptical about his performances across several movies. Way after Black Klansman, I'm a big fan of Tenet, so I don't have a complaint about John David Washington's style of acting as of late, but completely understandable. And then Walking Phoenix, Joker 2. Ooh, man. Okay. We got to talk about this. We got to like make a little separate kind of blurb about Joaquin Phoenix, Joker 2, the whole situation that's happening with Joaquin Phoenix. And I'm just going to say this, if you don't know what's going on with Joaquin Phoenix, this guy just literally like fell off of a Todd Haynes production that he co-wrote. He just like stepped out and he didn't say anything else. He just like walked off set a couple of days before his scene started shooting, and he just completely like fucked over the financiers and the crew and just people in general around the movie. And when Hollywood hears that and hears the fact that you've messed with rich people's money, that's not gonna like slide. Like, it's definitely not gonna slide. You don't fuck with people's money. I think Joaquin Phoenix is just a placeholder now for Joker 2, in my humble opinion, but this controversy can just like blow over once we like get deeper into the season. But right now, I'm putting him in the bottom 5 just to see like if it's gonna, cool down. And then it's just a really like sticky situation. I hope Joaquin Phoenix pays all the crew and Todd Haynes and just like everybody who were trying to make that film. And I hope he's well. But again, it's just fucked up. And then Gabriel LaBelle, Saturday Night. This is the SNL biopic. And he's playing Lorne Michaels, a younger Lorne Michaels. I think he's in his like early 20s. And I love Gabriel LaBelle. He's been really great lately. The Fablemans and like the Snack Shack are 2 great performances from him. And from the trailer, he's eating like the entire like scenery. I'm excited to see his performance in that. And then Sebastian Stan has 2 movies that are coming out, or one of them coming out. The other one's in limbo. The Apprentice is in limbo, but he also has A Different Man, which is kind of like a situation last year with Nicolas Cage for Dream Scenario, where it's kind of like a kooky, crazy performance, but it's very like outlandish, but also very like contained from what I've been hearing. Sebastian Stan, like as an actor, has been like taking a lot of risks. He did a couple like horror movies. He did like Pam and Tommy, which is the biopic about Pamela Anderson on Hulu. And again, like Sebastian Stan, he's probably like the only like Marvel like actor who has been just like branching out and like doing different things. So it would be really nice to see him get nominated. And then Tom Hanks here, just because it's here. And I don't really know if here the movie itself is going to be like an awards contender. Even though like I heard a lot of reactions towards the test screenings for the film, but that's just a whole other deal that I will probably go deeper into with the Best Picture category. But before I even do that, we're going to go to the actress or the Best Actress category. So let's move on to Best Actress, starting with Lady Gaga, Joker 2. Ooh, boy. We got a little banger in incoming. Lady Gaga, Joker 2. I'll just say this. I think she has it in the bag. And I think it's probably because her narrative is going to be very crazy and kind of annoying, because she's going to like fucking campaign like really hard, just like what she did with A Star Is Born and House of Gucci. And I can just see like her on the campaign trail just doing the most with her red carpet dresses and just interviews. Yeah, I can see it. And then I have Angelina Jolie, Maria. There was a clip that just came out with Angelina Jolie just doing her thing in the movie. It's only like a minute, but from what I saw is a really interesting portrait of an opera singer, and it's directed by Pablo Larraín, who also directed Jackie and Spencer. So the correlation from Spencer to Jackie to now here is pretty aligned. And the next one I have is Amy Adams, Night Bitch. This is kind of like a little possibility situation, because Amy Adams is getting her gala award for the Toronto Film Festival, and that whole gala ceremony predictor correlates mostly with the Best Actor, Best Actress nominations for the Oscars. So I can see it, but again, Night Bitch as a whole, the movie and the book, which I also read, is very out there. And it's kind of just like a mixture of family drama and horror. And I don't know if the Academy. So Amy Adams has the potential to be nominated here. And the book itself is kind of a mixture of family drama and horror, which I don't know if it's going to like translate deeply into the narrative of the movie. But I think from what I've been hearing, it's crazy, and I hope Amy Adams gets nominated because I think it's her like 6th or 7th nomination if it does happen. And then Mikey Madison, Nora. Woo! This is another performance that I've been hearing great things about, and it just screened at the Toronto Film Festival press screening. And yeah, like it's getting rapturous praise, and unfortunately I can't see it at Toronto because the screenings are completely sold out. I couldn't like get into it, but I will be watching this in October, hopefully at my international local film festival in Montclair. Hopefully. But yeah, like this is one performance that I have my complete eyes and ears, and the same with Saoirse Ronan, Blitz, and this is kind of like a close 5 nomination for me. Because Saoirse Ronan in Blitz, I've been hearing things about her performance being either supporting or just like leading, because the movie itself is portraying the World War II landscape, but with a boy, and the boy is the main focus of the film. So I don't know if this film will have a standout kind of leading performance with Saoirse Ronan. It might be more of a supporting thing, and that's why I also have her for the Outrun, because it's basically an alternative for Saoirse, and I can see Saoirse just do the Outrun as a leading nomination, and then Blitz as just a supporting. And then Carla Sofia Garçon for Emilia Perez is a hopeful nomination, as she's the lead in the film, and she's going through a lot of like crazy dark shit with like the cartel, and she has a bunch of like standout musical performances, so I'm very happy for her, and I hope she does get nominated. And then Julianne Moore, The Room Next Door, yeah, this is more of a thing where it's either like a co-lead situation or just supporting, and I don't know, we'll have to see. And then Robin Wright here, another placeholder. If only here is actually a thing. I don't know. I think society has progressed the need for kind of like bland Oscar bait, but I could be wrong. We had a few Oscar baity films that are just like dry as hell. The Trial of Chicago 7. We don't talk about that. We don't even talk about Hillbilly Elegy. But yeah, like that's my Best Actress kind of prediction. So finally, I have Best Picture, which is my 10. Sing Sing at number 1, Nora number 2, Conclave number 3, Queer number 4, Nickel Boys number 5, Blitz number 6, Dune 2 number 7, Emilia Perez number 8, Gladiator 2 number 9, and then Joker 2 number 10. I have a few words, especially with Sing Sing, which is the only viable Oscar contender that people have seen, and also Dune 2. But Sing Sing has the formula brewing, has all of the stops, it has all of the bait, and it has all of the heart and the tears, and it's a classical like Best Picture winner if it does come into fruition. But I think the healthy alternative, especially since this whole entire like Oscar landscape has changed, and now a lot of like these like kind of like low-key Oscar baity films are kind of like rejected, and now we're seeing a bunch of genre films and just films that you wouldn't normally get nominated, but are getting nominated and actually winning. And I have that with Nora, which won the Palme d'Or for the Cannes Film Festival, and it's going to ride super high long into the season. And again, I would be very happy for Nora to win Best Picture, even though I haven't seen it. But from what I've been hearing, it's a wild ride. And Sean Baker, as a director, has directed just amazing films, from like the Florida Project to Red Rocket, and this would be a nice like little prize for him, especially since he's a New Jerseyan. And then number 3, I have Conclave. This is another like classical Oscar Beatty film that I can see it just like riding and dying, or rying, or oh shit, I don't even know what I'm saying. Let's try that again. Conclave. Number 3, I like it. I can see it. I can definitely see it. Number 4, Queer. Okay, we need to talk about this because Luca Guadagnino, he's having a really good year with both Challengers and now Queer. And again, going back to my best actor analysis, Daniel Craig is going to give one of the best performances of the year from what I've been hearing. But also, Queer as a whole, the film has been recut 3 times, from it being firstly at 3.5 hours to 2.5 hours, and now it's 2 hours and 15 minutes. And each time, like, Luca just like chops it up. The Venice boss, or the Venice director of the Venice Film Festival, says it's really great, it's fantastic, it's one of the best films of the year. Like, your ass is going to be like seated. Like, I think we're in for a great one. And again, I think this film will probably like hit really hard with a lot of film Twitter stands and letterbox people. But also, right now, the film also doesn't have distribution, as it's still in limbo.
So that was a fucking lie.
A week before the Venice Film Festival screening starts for it. And that's really like troublesome. But I do think that it'll secure distribution release this year. And hopefully it doesn't like get like shafted to 2025. Like, that would be painful. I mean, it would be happy for me because I'd be watching it like first before everybody else, but yeah, like it going to 2025 would be devastating. And from what I've been hearing, because there was like a Variety article that just came out earlier today saying that it's like polarizing, I have to put like a little like thinking cap on, because I don't know if it's going to be like All of Us Strangers, where that film last year, it didn't have like fully polarizing reactions, but like the story itself was kind of a really like thinky movie, and you could really had to like sit with it, along with its like kind of weird kind of ghostly narrative. But I think Queer, from the book, I actually read the short book from William Burroughs. It's pretty out there, but it's also pretty straightforward, and it's also dealing with just William Burroughs' life as an expat who just completely just like ran away from the U.S. and just moved to Mexico City. Not the real like William Burroughs, the William Lee character in the book, but in real life he did actually run away, and he also killed his wife, which is really crazy. But yeah, like, I'm excited for Queer. Cool Boys. Going deeper into that, the director directed a documentary a few years ago. I think it was like Harlan County. I'm forgetting the full title, but he directed that documentary, and it had a lot of like cool experimental narrative feature moments. And the Nickel Boys, from the test screening reactions, seems to be like kind of his style of filmmaking, with like the experimental shots. But the Nickel Boys will be a completely fully narrative film, and we'll have a bunch of characters, and it will play just like Till, but I think it will be a little bit better because it'll have more of a style. And this is kind of like the struggle film of this year that will probably hit pretty high with a lot of people. And then Blitz also as well, Steve McQueen's new film, which is kind of like a companion piece to Occupy City, which was a documentary about World War II, but it was a 4-hour documentary about the Nazi occupation of Amsterdam City. This is just World War II, and Saoirse Ronan's in it, and yeah, like, I don't know anything else about it. I only know that it's premiering at New York Film Festival and London, and it didn't get into Venice or even like Toronto, so that's a little bit sus, but it's whatever. And I believe in Steve McQueen. He's one of the greatest directors working today. And then another film that is already out, and people have already seen it, and it's just going to stay here because it's the populist movie, Dune 2. Have nothing substantial to say, only that it's going to happen, and I'm happy about it. Emilia Perez, Netflix's main film that they're going to contend and try to like push out. Again, Cannes film reactions have been kind of warmly positive. A little bit mixed, but fully positive. And happy to see Jakar's Adid or Jakar's pronunciation's really shitty. Shakis Adard. Yeah, that guy who did A Prophet and Rusted Bone. Yeah, like I'm excited. I love his movies. I hope his movies are hitting with a lot of people who have seen it, who haven't seen it. And this seems to be like a return to form for Jacques Dard. Gladiator 2. Woo, boy. Ridley Scott. That boy's hit and miss. He usually does either a lot of shit or a lot of great films. You have to put Gladiator 2 in your top 10 because the first one won Best Picture, and Ridley Scott has been like hyping this film up for the past couple months, saying that it's his best film or like the best film that he's made. Dude's 80, like, dog, we gotta like put him in there. We gotta put him in the ring. And then Joker 2, last attempt, last slot. And that's probably because I think Joker 2 concept, it's even wilder than the first one. But I think 2019 pre-pandemic whole like jerk-off session of Todd Phillips conflating and just being a copy of Martin Scorsese's not going to buy it again this year, in my opinion, but I could be wrong. Joker 2 as a whole, it looks interesting, but I think it's like a fail-safe situation, and it can only just be probably just like acting categories and like technicals, and just that's it. Really depends on the awards season and how it's going to like keep up throughout the season, and also just how the movie is working with audiences and critics, because if critics are like split again with just like the first film, but even like more mixed than last time, then yeah, it's probably gonna be like done. It's gonna be cooked. It's gonna be like a down low set moment for the Joker baby. But yeah, that's my best picture analysis, and yeah, that's basically it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this little analysis video. I will be seeing 16 movies at the Toronto Film Festival. I will put the films on the screen right now, but yeah, like it's gonna be really interesting, and I hope I just like cover a bunch of the films that are in contention for the Oscars. And I actually hope also that I either do like a separate video just reviewing all of them, or just doing it all together in one video. But yeah, like I'll figure it out. If you're in Toronto when I'm at the Toronto Film Festival, just say hi. Cool guy. I'm a really cool guy. Yeah, okay, all right. Thanks guys. Peace.